All right, class, welcome to Science Inquiry 1, Lesson 1, where our essential question is, how do scientists make observations? Start up as a warm-up activity. What I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to take an object at your desk, and I'd like you to write as many observations as you can about it in 3 minutes. Then you're going to write them on the back of your notes. I'm going to use this pen to write about it. So that's my object. So you have 3 minutes. You can pause this video. Ready, set, go. You wrote what you saw, right? Were there any other types of observations you made? Did you touch it, see how soft it is, or how hard it is, or how smooth it is? Did you hear it? Did it make a sound when you dropped it on the floor or dropped it on the table or something like that? Did you taste it? You didn't have to taste it. That's okay. But you don't have to taste it, but did you try that? Did you smell it? Didn't smell that good, did it? Okay. Or maybe it did. I don't know. But these are some things that I want you to think about. We talked about sight, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. Okay, so in fact, we use all of these to make observations and descriptions. Whenever we're making observations, an observation would always, or most always, involve using our senses to use the natural world. So before we had tools, this is what we did. Before we had, scales, before we had balances. What we really have gotten ourselves into is two things. We use our senses to observe quality, or how something looks in adjectives. We call these qualitative observations, and now we have these other types of things that are measurable when we've created tools to do that. These are called quantitative observations. And so these are the types of observations that we're going to be going over as well. Quantitative measurements are also known as measurable observations. Okay? We use tools to make these observed measurements. So whenever we use a scale or a ruler or something like that, we're creating a measurable observation. These are also known as quantitative measurements. If you think of the word quantity, which equals number, you're getting the idea. So feet, inches, miles, centimeters, millimeters, pounds, ounces. Some tools that we use to do this, we use timers, we use balances, we use graduated cylinders, we use scales, we use a thermometer, and some types of observations that we do that are quantitative include time, length, distance, mass, volume, temperature, and density. A quantitative observation would be the length of a pizza slice is 8 inches long, and so, actually be more like that, but length of a pizza slice is 8 inches long. It is quantitative because it has a quantity, how long it is, 8, and then what the unit is, inches. Okay, I'd like for you to write an example in your notes of a measurable or quantitative observation of something you see in the room. Next, I'd like to talk about qualitative measurements. These are the ones that are, these qualitative observations are also known as, unfortunately, non-measurable. These are observations that cannot be measured. The tools are your senses and your opinions. Okay, so for example, you might have some types of observable things that can't be used that you can't use tools for, like smell. You don't have something that can test how much something smells, how something feels, soft, fuzzy, hard, or what type of color. It's going to change no matter who you talk to, and opinions are going to change no matter what. They're not factual. They're not quantitative. You can't really measure it. Okay, so like for example, the brownie tastes amazing or chocolatey. Depending on who you talk to, they might disagree with you. Maybe they might know of a brownie that tastes better. Another example would be this pillow is soft. It's so soft. Someone might think it's hard. Someone might be disagreeing with you completely. They're like, oh, it's definitely, I've had softer pillows in my time. I'd like for you to think of something that is described, its opinion, and it uses the senses. Write a qualitative observation of something, an object in your room. Please do that. When you're done, press play, and we're going to go to the next thing. Now, for your practice, you're going to work on your Whisk form online, and you're going to answer the 3 practice questions as they come. You're going to pause the video when the picture comes, answer in your Whisk, and then play the video for the next one. They're going to come really quick. You're going to choose either quantitative or qualitative. If you forget what they are, you can rewind this video and replay it and check it. Okay? So ready? We're going to go into our practice. Ready, go. So after you've done that, you can check your answers after you submit the form, but you need to write a question at the end. And so before you do that, though, I'd like for you to take that object on your desk that you used earlier, so mine was this pen, and you're going to make 2 quantitative observations and 2 qualitative observations. So I'm going to be writing about this guy as I work on my video, as well as I work on finishing this up. So with that, that is lesson 1.1. Tomorrow in class, we're going to be taking away our sense of sight, and we're going to be taking a look at making other qualitative and quantitative observations of mystery objects. So with that, you'll stay tuned for tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching the video on scientific observation and how they begin.